Hello, homeschool friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Heather, and I like to talk all things homeschool on my channel. And I haven't posted a video in a while because we have been in full swing of homeschool for the past 3 weeks, and we are in full swing now. So we spent the first week or so just kind of getting back into routine, and over the past couple weeks, slowly picking up subjects, and now we're in full swing. So I kind of wanted to give you an update today on what we've been up to, what's been working, what changes we have already made in the first 3 weeks, and just kind of what our homeschool day has been looking like. So in the mornings, we are currently reading, I read to them every morning at breakfast, this novel, Ragweed and Poppy, and mostly we just read it for enjoyment. They had breakfast, I read to them, we talk about it, we laugh. It's one of our favorite things in our homeschool that we look forward to every morning. And so mostly we just listen and then we talk about it, or I'll have them orally narrate back to me what the chapter was about. We always kind of review the chapter before we start reading, but occasionally I'll pull out a little something to do with the book. Like this week, my daughter did a little dictation and artwork with one of the main characters. And then we met a new character that we fell in love with from the story that happens to be a raccoon. So we did a little raccoon research and then wrote about what we learned. And so you can see the difference between my 10-year-old and my 6-year-old. But I just kind of make it age appropriate for them. He's just working on writing complete sentences, starting with a capital letter, punctuation, spacing, and then she has a full paragraph. So that's our morning. And then after that, my kids have been working on their chores before we start morning time, and they use these little checklists for them to just check off when they have finished their chores, and then they bring it back to me. And then we kick off our school day with our morning time, and we have completed our first science unit this year. We did a space unit from Rabbit Trails, and we loved it. I don't know if you can see behind me here is one of their little space mobiles that we made. But we did so much with that unit, and we were even so blessed to be able to go to the Space Center Houston Center and spend an afternoon there together, which was really fun for them to see all of the things that we had been learning about at Space Center Houston. So I highly recommend that if you are looking for a study on space. It was very easy to use and very fun. My kids, I'm going to back up just a second. Before we do our morning time, on our table here, they have a few things out that they can do independently while they're waiting for me. For my daughter, it's her cursive and explode the code and typing. And then for my son, it's his handwriting and explode the code. And they can work on those things independently till we get in and we do our morning time together. Then from there, my daughter has been reading. She goes off independently to do her independent work while I work with my son on his reading and language arts. So my daughter has been reading this story. We've been reading it together. We just read a few chapters at a time, and I've been reading at night or after our school day her next assignment so that we can chat about it and have conversation about what she's reading. But I also found this study guide to go along with it, which has been perfect because it wasn't too much. It was just this little study, this novel study that goes with it. And for each little reading assignment, there's like a making connections, vocabulary work, either true or false or multiple choice here. And then the second page is some short answers. And this is the teacher's guide, so all the answers are there right now. But she's got that in her folder. And then when her and I meet together, we go over this and we talk about the story. The other thing that she goes and does independently is Essentials in Writing 5, and we alternate between grammar and writing. And so she has her assignment from this, and she's been doing this for, we did level 3 and level 4, and so now we're doing 5, and so she is completely independent on this and her reading, and she does both of those while I work with my little guy on his reading, which is where our change came in this year. So if you watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I was planning on starting with All About Reading because we finished that level 1 last year, and my plan was to start level 2 with him this year, which we absolutely plan to continue it. This right here, however, we haven't started it because I pulled out something right before we started school over the summer to give my little guy some little extra reading over the summer from something that I used with my daughter when she was learning to read. And it's these readers from Pathways. So this is there's 3 books in the level 1. This is just the first one. And he started reading this before we started school. And he was doing really well with it. So I was hesitant to change because it was working for him. And it worked really great for my daughter too. And it's actually very inexpensive. So if you're looking for another reading program, take a look at Pathways. So this is kind of what he's reading. And what I like about it is that the words get repeated a lot in every story. And the story continues in every chapter. So it's about a little boy named Peter and his sister Rachel and their family and their siblings and all the problems that they run into together as siblings. And there's some little bit of, mischief that goes on there and misbehaviors. And there's always a good lesson to be learned behind every lesson. And then it has this little workbook that it comes with it. And I just kind of pick and choose out of here what I wanted him to do as far as like comprehension or just like little activities in there. He doesn't do every page. Some pages we just kind of do together, but if you can kind of see there, it's black and white. It's not fancy. It's not pretty, but it's really just been working for him. And so I'm kind of at a crossroad right now. He has now finished this first book, and there's 2 more books, and I don't know. We might just continue it because he's doing so well with it. And then we might also pull in some lessons from All About Reading because I still think it's absolutely wonderful and it's a great phonics curriculum. So that was the biggest change that I made for him. And then I've been doing his language lessons from, did I pull it out? I thought I pulled out everything. First language lessons is what I've been doing with him. And I don't think I pulled it out. Is what I've been doing with him for his language arts. I thought I pulled it out. Oh, yep, I did. Here it is right here. So we've been doing this with him. Just 1 lesson a day, and a lot of it is oral. He's been working on common nouns and proper nouns and writing proper nouns with a capital letter. And so this has been a really great fit. We will continue using this throughout the year. Then after all of our reading is finished, so you can kind of see our little schedule back here. We do our morning time, our reading and language arts, and then everyone has a snack. But before we do that, my little guy gets his break and my daughter comes in, and that's where we go over her reading. We go over her language arts, and then I do spelling with her and Mama. And we have done in the past All About Spelling levels 1 through 4. This year, I wanted something different for her. I was on a hunt for a new spelling, and we decided to try out sequential spelling. And we've been doing that for 3 weeks now, and I like it. And it's super simple, and it's super easy, and it just builds on the word pattern that you're working on. So let me kind of show you. Just kind of, we haven't gotten real far into it. But basically, you call out the words to them, and they write it on their sheet, and it just kind of builds every day on those patterns. And their little workbook pages just look like this. And my daughter loves it because it's clean, it's simple, it's quick, there's not a lot of fluff. She just likes the paper pencil, and it's been a good fit for her. So I just pull out the pages that she needs for the week. I slip it in my teacher book from the one that I call out the words, and it doesn't take us more than 5-10 minutes maybe on her spelling. So her and I sit down maybe 20 minutes tops and kind of go over all of her work. All right, then they get a snack, probably their favorite time of day. And then we do our math. And so my daughter has been using BJU for the past 3. This is our 3rd year. We've done BJU 3, 4, and this year we're using 5. And she's using the DVD lessons, and that works great for us. And my son has been using Math with Confidence for the past 2 years, K1, and this year he's using 2nd grade. And that's been working fantastic. So no changes there at all with math. My daughter goes independently and watches her video while I work with my little guy. And then the way that it works in his lessons is the front half of his lesson is based off of the lesson that I did with him. And then the back is a review. And he's able to do the back on his own independently. And then I hop on over into the kitchen where my daughter's doing her math lesson and support her there. Where she needs it, wherever she's at in her lesson. And so that has been working really great for us. I kind of bounce back and forth between them this year with their math lessons. And we're usually done by lunch, 12, 1 o'clock. So that's pretty much been it. We've been busy. And we have been learning so much together. Our space unit was so fun. This week that we're going into, we'll be switching and flip-flopping our morning time to go back to history, and we'll do a couple weeks of history, and then we'll flip back to science, and then I kind of flip-flop that in our morning time, and that works really well for us instead of trying to cram all the subjects in one day. So that's where we've been. If you have any questions about anything that I shared, I'd be more than glad to share any links or any additional details on any of the things that I've shared. I hope that's helpful. I hope that if you've started your school year, that you're having a wonderful year. And if you haven't kicked it off yet, I hope that you have a great year. Let me know if you have any questions.